problem at all.
All right.
All right. So, my name is Chef Terrence Wallace, better known as 340-227-8794, and that's part of the Michigan Department of Corrections.
Okay. Okay. You remember that number?
I remember that number. I remember it well because I didn't know my name for 10 years. They called me that.
Lord have mercy.
But while I was incarcerated, I took it upon myself to better myself. And my mentor, Chef Jimmy Lee Hill, let me in a culinary class. And I turned that prison sentence into a university. I took every class that was in there. It's about the individual. I could have been out there at the domino table. I could have been in the weight pit. But I went places where I couldn't be bothered. I went to the library. I went to the library and I took every trade that was available to me. And so at that point that I knew that I had messed up and there was only a few things that I was good at that I said I can excel in that was offered to me in prison. And that was cooking and that was hair cutting. And when I came home, I got my barber's license and I got my chef certification. But my first class that I took was the chef. And I stayed in that class until I became the tutor. When I became the tutor, I stayed in there for 7 years. And under the guidance of Chef Jimmy Lee Hill, who has the #1 correctional facility program in the United States. And he's my mentor and friend at this point in time. He has the most successful non-recidivism rate in the United States. Most of his guys come out and they do very well in their own backyard, but I'm the only one that has went kind of international. I took this thing around the world, and by the grace of God, I found an industry that's felony friendly, that just not just for cooking. This is the maritime industry. And I was also blessed to get connected with the American Hotel and Lodging and the National Restaurant Association. They given me a $2 million training program that's only for workforce development, at-risk people, neighborhoods. And I am a member of that association, and I have strong backing as well. So we've just been granted government funding to train through the whole territory of the United States Virgin Islands. We just got funded for Michigan also, as we are putting our program inside the college. Now, this is a nonprofit organization that I developed. It's called the Turnaround Place. It's short for TAB. So what am I doing is going to majority of the reentry who has a high reentry programs. And I'm seeing Atlanta, Georgia as #4 in the nation of the highest reentry programs in the United States. California will be #1, Texas will be #2, and Seattle, Washington will be #3, and then Georgia #4. So I keep up with these type of stats because I want to see what's going on. So as we go around the nation and given this program is an accredited program. That's when I say it's accredited. That means that, like what I did, I turned the first certification I had into a college credit. Then I turned those college credits into a bachelor's degree, then an associate degree, then so on and so on and so on. As you see from right here, as I got out here and started working on water, I started working private yachts at first. And it was very surprising that I was able to get a passport, which I didn't think I could.
We're losing you.
These guys. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. This is the industry that I work in. As you see, I'm out on the water. I'm on the Great Lakes. I'm on a ship right now. And a lot of these guys come out here, they have colorful background as mine. And they're able to do this and with a lucrative income. When I say a lucrative income, we have dishwashers that work on the ships that make $80,000 a year. We have ordinary seamen that come in, and I've sent you the pay scales.
Yes.
I've sent you the demand. This is the best kept secret in the urban community. And I'm telling you that I can take anybody that you point at and you give me 4 months, the minimum that he'll make will be $80,000 a year coming out here on the water. We're not just talking about getting these guys a job. Anybody can give somebody a job. But what we do, we clean them up before we put them into the job. That's why we call it restaurant ready. Restaurant ready means we chip away all the stuff that's around. We teach them customer service. We teach them attitude. We teach them behavior. We deal with communication skills. Those are the things that's needed to be had out here. So a lot of these guys come out here and they're still mad about what something that Malcolm X did in 1969, which is irrelevant to the day. And they come out here with that on their chest, and that's not going to work. You got these kids that's coming out here that's not in our community, but no, this is the best kept secret. They're coming out here and they're walking in at 24 and 25 years old and making over $100,000 a year as officers. You see what this guy's doing? Look, what he's doing right now. He's on his phone right now and he's driving. And guess what he makes? He makes $100,000+ a year. Now, how come we can't do that in our communities? This is feasible. I have a passport. I have a security clearance. I've been on every military ship. I work for the government. I make personally myself, I make from $560 to $700 a day. It depends what type of water we are in. Now, it's a 30-day training course, which teaches them firefighting, teaches them lifeboat survival skills, and just emergency exit things on the boat. The boat industry is like a giant warehouse. You have electricians, plumbers, you have QMids, you have captains, you have mates. And these credentials are not just based upon, oh, you better than me, I'm going to give you. No, you come out here, you do your seat time, you go do your upgrades, and you move up. There's no excuses. Some of the guys that stay in a certain position, that's just where they want to be, and they make a very lucrative income. Mm-hmm. And by me taking this to, like say for instance, there's a lot of people in Atlanta that work in this industry that you don't know, in Georgia that work in this industry that you don't know, because when they disappear for 3 or 4 months, they'll come back and you see, oh man, he's doing really good. This is what he's doing. Mm-hmm. This is what he's doing. And so, I've connected myself with 6 different maritime schools around the United States where once they complete my program, or they complete their maritime program, which is a 30-day program and it's state funded. So what I'm saying is workforce development. None of this is going to cost anybody anything out of their pocket. There's a lot of grants. There's a lot of funding for reentry. So these things are capable. So they can't do it while they're on parole. They have to be completely off parole. They have to have no barriers. It does. They can't be on parole at the end of that time, and everything is looked at. So there's not, like, I don't have a record. I have a platinum hit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I've been in trouble. I don't have a record. I have a platinum hit. I'm a 3-time felon, and I've been on the USNS Ford. So that tells you I've been on ships that have Navy SEALs, security clearances, and things of that nature. So by just staying out of trouble and working the steps to do what is possible, we can change your lives. And I'm just not telling you this. I don't want this. You're not the first person. You're not the second. This is the 5th state that I've dropped this off in. And the reason that I reached back for Georgia, I lived in Atlanta for a short period of time. And it wasn't a good experience. It was a little bit slicker than me. And I'm from Detroit. And I said, you know what? These people have too much time on their hands. Everybody wants to be. I worked at the Tyler Perry studio. I worked for Mike Epps. I worked for multiple celebrities. That's coming from prison. I worked for Robert De Niro. This word thing is unlimited. And like, say for instance, like, remember when we was kids where we used to have the summer youth jobs, where if they come through our program in resorts like in Montauk, New York, Boca Raton, Hilton Head down in Florida, down in the Virgin Islands. I mean, I have made these connections where, they go for the seasons and these people will house them. So it's all about the individual. We have certain other people that come in as participants that might be barbers, that might be beauticians, that might be real estate agents. We have a total wraparound service. And I wrote 2 books. One book is called The Recipe to Success, and one is called The Memoirs of Chef T. One is about my life, and one, The Recipe to Success. And Miss Abel, we're going to get that to you. Latoya is supposed to have been mailed you this book. This book be right next to the Bible.
Okay. Hmm. Keep breaking up.
Freezing up again some.
Yeah. You're freezing up,
Now,
Chef.
okay, I'm out on the ocean, and I apologize, but let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm out on the ocean, so I apologize. So this recipe to success booklet, it was
Yes.
wrote by individuals with QMHPs. There was doctoring inside of it. We got to make sure that you get this book. This book takes the total step of the yeses and the nos, the felony-friendly employers, the agencies that are around the United States. People don't understand that they can get federally bonded. Federally bonded ensures the employer that if there's something happens while they're on your clock, that they will be covered, and if something happens on their clock, you will be covered. So what it does is holds the department, it holds both individuals accountable. Right. So what we're trying to do, what we are doing, so nobody's pointing the finger at each other. Nobody's pointing the finger at the department. Nobody's pointing the finger at the offender. We both need to come together and work as one. I found a way to go around the barriers, and I didn't just stay over there and say, oh, I made it. Thank God. No, what I did was I said 60 individuals myself before I started this nonprofit and nonprofit. I started telling individuals about this, and I will show you my emails. You wouldn't believe how many people call me on a daily basis all over the world saying, Chef, can you help me get this? And I started just putting the pieces of the puzzle to helping individuals. And when we help individuals, we help the next person. We funded 35 passports last year, 20 MMCs out of my personal pocket. Out of my personal pocket. So when God saved me from the nightmares, I was on drugs. I come from no father. I mean, anything that don't help you. Excuses won't help you. We need to get to the core problem of these individuals. It's not about giving them jobs. You gotta knock all that stuff off, Mr. Avery, and then that's when you start pushing the job in front of them, because that's what's gonna stick. If you don't knock all that grease off them and wash that grease off, anything that you try to put on them, it's gonna slide right off them. It's gonna slide right off them. I mean, like, we went through the Virgin Islands in Puerto Rico, and we just thought, I mean, it was so funny. Like, I went to the Virgin Islands, and they're surrounded by water, and none of them know about how to get a job on the water. I was the one that came from from a different state to show the Virgin Islands people how to get a job on the water.
That's crazy.
But anyway,
yeah.
and I was like, what? Y'all don't know how to do this? So like, I'm putting up over 6 figures in 8 months. And that's nothing special. It's nothing special. You're talking about if a guy can work at McDonald's, if you could, this industry, you're cooking for 20 people on one time at one boat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you got 3 helpers. This is, I mean, we're going back to the first form of transportation. I've sent you the job demand. I know I sent you so you can see the demand that's listed out here. Like, matter of fact, I just took a global position that starts in December with Chevron. We're talking about Chevron, the oil company.
Right.
Where I'm a 3-time felon. I'm going around the world teaching everybody on their ships, 27 of their fleets and their oil rigs, how to cook and follow cooking instructions. So with that type of connection and being able to make that type of connection, I'm able to put individuals on those ships, not including the other companies and the unions. You're talking SIU, which is the biggest company, maritime company union in the world. You're talking MSC, Military Sea Lift Command. I have personal relationships with those guys over there. So, I mean, just through the Gulf, cruise ships, hotels. I mean, I don't know what God is putting on me, but it just never stops. And I'm just being his vessel. I'm being his vessel. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Once we get them on paper, we can get them in certain situations. I'm telling you, the dishwashers, I'm literally making almost six figures, and we wash the dishes for 20 people. When I found out about this, and I'm not trying to get off the track, but the guy gave me my first check. I met the general manager of a company, Merck's, which is the biggest shipping company in the world. I met him on a yacht. And he says, Chef, whenever you come to the United States and you want a job, and I'm like, the United States? They got these kind of jobs in the United States? He says, no, they're shipping company. I said, oh, what's that? What do you ship? He was like, Mr. Wallace, we ship everything from like, so this I'm naive. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. So, back to the United States, and he goes, just try it. So I had got my training. I tried. So the guy, and I told him I'd do it for 45 days. Mr. Avery, the guy handed me a check for $18,000. I said, you my paycheck stuff. He's handed me a paycheck for $18,000. And I said, when is this, for 2 months? And he says, no, this is every month. And I looked at him and I said, are you kidding me? And he goes, and I said, for cooking for that many people? He says, yeah, we will hope that you will stay longer. I said, well, you can handcuff me to the stove. I ain't going nowhere. For 8 months. I'm just telling you, I couldn't believe it, you got, I mean, it's out here. That's the only thing I can say.
I got you.
That's the only thing I can say. I'm done selling. I'm done selling.
You sold me. You certainly sold me. Like I mentioned, I work with the Department of Labor, and that's how I kind of got involved with returning citizens, because a part of my job was to help veterans who were recently incarcerated, and then I had a family member to be incarcerated, and I recognize even with family support, it's difficult to be positive about opportunities once you come out, and so it sold me. I recognize that the workforce development. I've worked with them here in the Gwinnett area where we're located. Throughout the metro area, I understand that there is opportunity, and is going to be in the most unlikely of places. And listening to you, the main thing I want to I guess point out to you is, if at all possible, in October, if you can find yourself here for our October meeting, which we have planned to meet with some of the local politicians that represent the different sections or districts in our area, because this is something that needs to be shouted from the top of the wall, and we need all hands on deck, so to speak, for something like this, because if it's as huge as I'm visualizing it to be, I can see a lot of people being helped, lives being changed, mission accomplished. I can see that.
Mr. Avery, let me tell you, when I say I've been around the world 3 times, if you would have told me 10 years ago that this was possible, I would have never told you. I've visited every country, and I live a very decent lifestyle. All I need to do is go to the airport and go to work. My life has changed so much. My family can't even recognize me anymore. You're talking about total life changes, where you're talking about health benefits. You're talking about profit sharing. You're talking about vacation. There's not a day that I am not, if I'm not on a ship, I am still getting paid. Some companies work if I work 30 days, they add 25 days vacation to me. When I come home, I have a 4-month vacation check, or I work 30 days, 2 weeks off. You're talking about overall that you can go to a vocational school, and everybody in that vocational school, the plumber, the electrician, the auto body, anybody in that field is able to come out here and work on these ships. And it's the best kept secret, like I say, in the urban community. You see so many young kids that if the family members are the one that are not
Keeps freezing up.
to these companies. This has been in our backyard. Yeah, I am in Michigan on the Great Lakes right now, right in my own backyard. So, you know.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about I'm Rachel Odell, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
I used to be the president, and then I roped Abram into it. And now I'm like, go for it. This sounds like it'll be a great event, Abram. I just want to make sure we really build up the promotion of it, and then we also lay down a game plan and a focus, because it seems it's going to be kind of two-pronged in its nature, in that we're inviting people who are up for election to come and speak, right? It's a forum where the candidates are each going to have like 2 to 5 minutes to kind of like vote for me because, and tailor their message toward the justice involved returning citizens community. I was wondering if we could make it be catered by you, Chef T, if Abram, that might have already been your plan.
Okay.
And then also let Chef T basically spend 30 minutes laying out his story and his pitch, and let us know what we need to do, because there'll be people in attendance there who may say, how do I get involved in this right now? Like, what are my next steps? So if we need to have any other contacts there, or if you like, just tell us what we would need to do to help those people who might be interested in that.
Well, there's 2 things that I would do. My main 2 people is Amanda Smith. She's over the National Association. She's my biggest advocate. Chef Jimmy Lee Hill, he's my biggest advocate. He runs the most successful program. He's my mentor. He's everywhere. I'm not the best speaker, and the people that will be more willing.
But I love the story you told. Like your story. I thought it was really good.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, I can tell you about me. I can tell you about me because that's pretty easy. I mean, because there's no lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you everything, you know? So I put it out there. I'm going to make sure you guys get the books. The workbooks, I'm telling you, it would be great. But anyway, let's put together a game plan. I'm going to collaborate with Mr. Abram, with Amanda Smith and Chef Hill.
Okay.
And Neely Carson. They're over the American Hotel and Lodging. This is who sets the standard for the any culinary school, right? They get their script from them, and then they put their name on it, and they give them a little something to do back with, okay? But these restaurant ready, it's completely what it says. It's restaurant ready. You know, like when I came out, I was honest with myself. When I got out, when I was getting ready to get out of prison, I didn't go home. I knew I needed help. I was a crack addict. You know, and money was not my problem. I always made good money. That was never my problem. Mm-hmm. I was a full-fledged crack addict. Mm-hmm. And I went to a sober living home, and guess what? I submitted to the program. I was making $25 an hour in 2008, which is pretty good money back then. I mean, I was a full-fledged chef, but I couldn't control my life. So guess what? These individuals gave me $20 a week to catch the bus, and I submitted to that. They saved my money for me. You have to be honest with yourself. What is your problem? Yeah. If you can't be honest with yourself, nothing's gonna work. Amen. I had saved up so much money in this sober living. I was catching the bus, and I was scared. They was like, "Terrence, when you gonna buy a car?" I knew a car would give me access to the areas that I shouldn't go. And I was scared to get a car. No, I don't want no car. And the guy said, I don't want no car. I'm gonna continue to catch the bus. I'm gonna continue to catch the bus. And when he said, listen, you're gonna have to buy a car. I said, well, how much money have I saved up? He said, you got $70,000. I said, well, I guess I'll buy the Infinity Coupe.
Outstanding.
But it's about making the program work. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. You know, so I mean, we're gonna get together. We can write out some things. You guys send me a list, Mr. Abram, of the things that you have in mind. I will take that information, spend it here, spend it there, and we'll come back and we'll have a game plan. Make sure you give me a date so I can schedule my time to be off the ship. They don't like for me to be gone, but
gotcha.
And I will be there for you guys. I will be there. I promise I will be there.
All right. And
should our target audience be then returning citizens and people who like run these sober living kind of places? I mean, would they be sort of a point of contact between your program and a returning citizen?
I think the point of contact would be anybody who wants to change their life. This is not just a men program. It's a women program. It's a people's program. It's a person that hasn't been in the workforce in a long time that, you know what I'm saying, that they have tangible skills that we can enhance with disability.
Okay.
Abram, we might want to make sure we really promote it to folks like Carlethia Collier too.
Well, that's the first person that came to my mind. The Department of Labor comes to mind. As you mentioned, the different, I guess, politicians come to mind.
Yeah, the politicians will be there anyway, so they'll hear about it. And, you know.
But it's the communication, faith, maybe even faith-based organizations as well that have programs for recovery. This is going to require like you collaboration as broad as possible, because we don't want to miss anyone for something this enormous, and so we will. Today is we're about the end of July. Maybe sometime in the middle of August, perhaps we could come back together and kind of pour over what we've built or established or communicated within the community and who's responded. I think that will be a win-win for us. We'll be able to measure our success as far as up to that point. So I will get back with you. Thank you so much for attending this meeting. Ms. Latoya, I want to thank you as well. Thank you for your persistence, because I know usually I'm a very hard person to pin down. Even my pastor was telling my wife, say, you know, your husband don't ever answer his phones. I do answer my phones. I just like to know who's calling me, you know. And so, you know, like you called, and I said, I don't know anyone in the Virgin Islands, you know. Who's calling me from the Virgin Islands? But the more we communicate, you know, the more we'll be able to stay in touch with one another.
I agree, and I know a for sure win with you would be ex-veterans. Ex-veterans, they love out here. They love ex-veterans.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm going to send you the overview, and you can send it to Miss. I'm sorry, I missed her name, Miss Rachel.
Yeah.
that you can send the information to Miss Rachel, and she can get an overview of it, or send me the email, and I'll send you a complete overview of TAP so you can be able to see it. And I think you'll be pleased with the people that we have on board. I mean, this is not just something that's been made up. This is a $2 million model program that's for at-risk community, and just anybody that's looking to get back in the workforce. Like I tell everybody, this is not a prison program. This is not a jail program. This is every person program that have had some type of setbacks and hardships that is looking to get back on the right path. That's what type of program this is.
All right.
I don't like to label it. I say a person that really wants this, there's a rainbow at the end of this, and all you have to do is follow it.
Okay.
Follow it and don't think. Follow it and don't think. Just get it. I appreciate you guys' time. I got to get off this bridge. The Captain Zim is up here, and they're going to rub me wake up here. Okay?
All right. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
God bless.
All right.
Abram, can I stay on with you for a minute?
You certainly can.
I figure we could get some final kind of more, like we could discuss like what you're going to do between now and August before you. So when you follow up with him, you kind of have decided. So what you can do is if you go on the Google Drive and go to, I'm on my phone doing it, but if you go to the plus sign and create new, and you decide what you want to create you can create a new Google Doc. And in that Google Doc, title it October 2022 event. Okay. And you can write down all this stuff that you've been taking notes on paper right now during this meeting, so that then you can refer Angela and Gail and Regina to it. Yes. So everybody knows the same information. And then we can also add to it as we get closer to the time. So you might want to write down kind of like target audience who we've discussed just now that we want to make sure we really promote this to, really promote it to people like what's her name who won the award at the symposium. She does sober living. She does TCIM sober.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Suddenly I'm Mary Benson. And she has connections to other people who do sober living. Pamela, Greg Kenner. Greg will be there because he's a candidate, like he's a state house member, and he's running for re-election. And he runs Inspire, which that's right. His kind of clientele are going to be the people who really could benefit from this. So we need to list kind of the individual contacts that we really want to reach out to. Carletha Collier. Yes. And then we need to figure out how many we want to expect, because if we want to ask Chef T or whoever else he mentioned, Chef Hill, right, someone local, to cater it, to prepare the food for the whole event, then we need to know how much that's going to cost, and we can cap the number if we want to say we want to cap it at 100 people or something like that, so that we don't run out of food and we don't go over budget. And also, does he want us to pay travel expenses for him to come from Michigan, or is he willing to foot that bill himself if we just pay for the food, because that's the kind of, this is kind of building up to be not as big as the symposium, but kind of like the second biggest event of the year.
Well, it has far-reaching implications, and if we do a good job of putting it out there, it will take on a life of its own because of the effect that it will have on the community. I mean, I was thinking after a couple of conversations that it was going to be too good to be true, but I'm really excited about it. Hey, you still there?
Oh, I see. I was about to type "you're frozen," and then and then it stopped the record. Now you're muted, so you have to unmute yourself. But also Russell can be he knows some guy who does veterans services out of the jail, like a veterans pod in the jail, and he might have other veterans who've gotten out who are now, done with their parole. So we'll just kind of decide who to promote this to, maybe do free tickets, but cap the number.
We have Danny Pagan. I don't know if you.
That's it. That's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah, Danny Pagan. Yeah, the DAV here in Lawrenceville, and then we just need to know where the most bang for our buck is going to be.
Put all these people on the list, with Greg, because what we'll do is we'll have the general, like we can post on social media and in our newsletter and put the link for the ticket reservations and all that. But what we really want to do is send personal emails or make personal phone calls to those people and ask them to like see if they can invite or bring 5 to 10 people, each or more. Some of them may be so excited they'll be like, I'm gonna reserve 20 spots, and so because you got Lee, you got all these people who have reentry